Hello everyone. Thanks for staying connected. And once again, thanks for joining my webinar. So I introduce myself first. So my name is Nivas. So I'm working as a senior product analyst at Vembu. So I'm the one who is going to host the webinar for today. So also I'm having Mr. Pranav with me. So he's one of my colleagues and he's a senior product analyst at Vembu. And he's the co-organizer for the today's webinar. So before getting into this webinar, so I just want to let you know the ground rules for this webinar. So all the attendees are only in listen only mode. Okay. However, if you have any questions during the session, so there is a Q&A box in your screen. So you can just type in your questions and we will try to answer your questions immediately. If not, so we will send a reply to you by an email tomorrow. And so this session is being recorded. If you want the recorded copy of this webinar, so you can check out our Vembu website and you can get the recorded copy. So with that, so let's get started with today's webinar. So I just start with introducing Vembu Technologies. So we are the company founded in the year 2002 and we are headquartered in India, US. So headquartered in India, Chennai, and we have it is a US based and registered in US. So we have offices in US and India. So all the operations are happening from India. So we set our footprints over 100 plus countries. So more than the people from more than 100 plus countries are using Vembu solution to protect their business critical data in their IT infrastructure. So in and around 60,000 plus businesses are using Vembu backup software to protect the business critical data. Okay, so as a backup software vendor, so we are partnering with various technology vendors across the globe. Like you can see in the screen, so we are partnering with VMware, Microsoft, NetApp, HP, Red Hat, and AWS. So by partnering with them, so we are able to deliver the best-in-class data protection solution to the world. Okay. And here you can see a few of our customers. So Vembu BDR suite is designed to cater the business requirement of any size, whether it is a small business or enterprise. So you can use Vembu BDR suite to protect your business critical data. So I have collected some of the enterprise customers list. So here you can see NASA, Fujitsu, Kawasaki are using Vembu to protect their IT environment from disaster or data loss. So with that, so I'm just going to give a short introduction to the products that we are offering. So Vembu is offering two products. The first one is a Vembu BDR suite. So it is a portfolio product that is designed to back up the data of virtual, physical, and also cloud and SaaS workloads. So we have multiple products in there, multiple solutions, right? So the first one is the backup and replication for VMware. So it is an agentless solution that backups your VMware virtual machines. Then we have a backup and replication for Hyper-V. Again, it is also an agentless method of backing up your Hyper-V virtual machines. Okay, so we have a backup solution to back up your physical Windows servers and workstation. So all these things are image level backups, so you can configure and manage your backups directly from a single centralized console. Then we have a legacy file and application level backup. So still there are some use cases where the users want to back up the particular files from a file server or application servers. So we still provide backup solution, granular backups for files and application. Then we have a backup solution for Office 365 where you can back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, even the files and folders from OneDrive, SharePoint, Online, Teams. Then we have a backup for Google Workspace. Again, you can back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, and the Google Drive files and folders using the Vembu backup for Google Workspace. So we provide agentless backup for the AWS EC2 instance. So with just single clicks, you can back up the EC2 instances, and you can take a snapshot of EC2 instance and store it for the DR purpose. Apart from this, Vembu also offer offsite DR and cloud DR to send you can send a copy of backup data to your own data center or to Vembu cloud. If something goes wrong with the on-premise data center, you'll be able to reach the data from offsite DR or cloud. Okay, so this is the Vembu BDR suite of products. So this is the the primary backup solution, on-premise backup solution from Vembu. And second, we also have Vembu Cloud BDR Suite. So Vembu Cloud BDR Suite is designed, it's like a SaaS product, so where you can back up the data directly to Vembu Cloud. So you don't need any installations here. So you just sign up for Vembu Cloud account. So you can log into, so we provide agents, so you can just install the agent on your computers and servers, and you'll be able to back up the data directly to the cloud. So you just pay for the cloud space that you're using. Yeah, so here we have backups for files and application. So you can back up your AWS EC2 instances, so you can back up your Office 365 data. Then we also support backup of Google Workspace. And yeah, so right now, we are not providing direct online backup for VMware and Hyper-V and disk image backups, like physical machine backup. However, so this is coming soon in the upcoming releases of Vembu. So the development is started, so you can expect this to be in the upcoming releases of Vembu. So this is a small introduction about the products that we are doing at Vembu. So with that, so we will directly jump into the topics of today's webinar. So what's new in Vembu version 5.0? So it has been a year since we began working on the Vembu BDR Suite 5.0, and so that we started the 5.0 development by gathering the feature requests and feedbacks from our customers, and we also and get an understanding of how the industry is evolving. So we after analyzing everything, so we filtered out the features, and then we started the development for the 5.0. So now that the release of Vembu 5.0 is around the corners, so we decided to give a small sneak peek to our users who are waiting for this 5.0 release. Okay. So we released the beta for version 5.0. So if you're interested, so you can just download the beta from our website, and you can start testing the Vembu 5.0 in your environment. So let's see. So we are bringing a lot of new features and enhancements in this 5.0. So we'll see everything in detail. Okay. So this is going to be a small presentation where I'm going to explain the features that are coming in the 5.0. So later, I have a demo setup with me, so I'm going to take you to a small product live demonstration where you can see the features in action. Okay, so we'll get started. So what are the new features that are in 5.0? So the first one is we are introducing the replication for the Hyper-V virtual machines. Previously, the replication is available, the live VM replication, like you can replicate the VMware virtual machines from one ESXi to another ESXi. Now in 5.0, so you can replicate the Hyper-V VMs from one host to another. In the event of disaster or system crash, you can just simply fail over the replicated VM, and you can continue your business operation. So that's Hyper-V VM replication. Second one, instant boot live migration. So you all aware about the Vembu's instant boot. So you can just, if something goes wrong, you can just instantly boot the backup data directly from a backup storage repository onto your VMware or Hyper-V or KVM hypervisors and get started, continue with your work. With this instant boot, so we are adding some more functionality to it. So we are bringing in live migration. So with this, so after you perform the instant boot, so you can fully restore the instant boot VM directly to the production without having any downtime. So this will help you to instantly restore the production VM, and you can just take it in the background to the production. Okay, that's the instant boot live migration. So it's simply you just whatever. Okay, for example, right now this is available only for the VMware. So if you perform the instant boot on a VMware hypervisor with a single click, it will directly go to the production. During this migration, we also migrate the changes that you have made on the instant boot session. So that's the instant boot live migration. Second is a parallel VM processing. So previously only backup jobs can run in parallel. So by default, you can run up to 5 backup jobs in parallel. With 5.0, so we are bringing in the parallel backup support for the multiple VMs and disk inside a single host. So we are bringing an option in our user interface that you can customize the number of backup jobs or the number of VMs or disks that can be processed in a backup server within small settings. Okay, next we are bringing in drive rotation. So you can add multiple external hard drives to store the backup data, and you can swap them on regular basis. So this is a very long-awaited feature from Vembu. So it is missed in last 2 releases, but we are bringing it in 5.0 release. Next, the next major feature is where it left off. So this feature enables the image backup data to run more efficiently, even if you're facing a lot of network failure in the environment. You don't need to worry about it hereafter. So whenever your backup interrupts, or if the backup server restarts due to any reasons, so the backup will continue automatically from where it left in the previous schedules. So this feature it will greatly improve the performance, even if there is a lot of even if you face a lot of network failures in your environment. So this feature will help you to overcome these kinds of troubles that you are facing now. So next is a synthetic full backup. Again, so this is also one of the most awaited feature in Vembu 5.0. The synthetic full backups are created in the backup repository by merging the older full backups and the subsequent incremental backup. So you don't need to take additional full backup again and again. So with the older backups, we'll merge the data together and we'll create a synthetic full backup. So this will reduce the time and the bandwidth usage over the network for creating multiple backup servers in the repository. So you don't need to wait for a long time to create additional full backups. So you already have a full backup, you have incrementals, you can merge and create a synthetic full backup for you. And GFS, so this GFS retention is already available with Vembu. So if you go for the advanced retention, so this works on GFS. In this 5.0 release, so we have taken it to next level. Okay, so you can create restore points on weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. So it can be tied with the additional full backups or the synthetic full backups. Okay. Then the backup job template. Okay, so previously you have to, until the version 4.0, so you have to create a backup job, and you have to do this configuration every time whenever you create a new backup job. So with 5.0, so it is going to be even more simple. The backup configuration is going to be more simpler than ever. So we introducing backup job templates, where you can create multiple templates based on the frequently used backup configuration or some predefined backup policy of your organization. You can create multiple templates, and you can use these templates to create a backup job quickly. So just pull the template, select the entities you want, create a backup job. That's all. So the backup job templates, it is going to save a lot of time in creating a backup job. So if you have some free time, at the time you just come and create some templates, name the template, save it. If you have on demand, if you want to create a backup, for the VM or physical machine on demand, just come and use this template. Next, multi-host backup. So again, the multi-host backup is going to be one of the coolest feature. So previously, if you want to backups VMs from multiple VMs in a single job, so you have to add the vCenter or cluster. If it's a case of a VMware, so you have to add your vCenter to back up the VMs from multiple hosts in a single backup job. Or in case of Hyper-V, so you have to add your cluster. So now, even if you don't have a cluster of vCenter, so you can configure backups from multiple VMs in a single backup job. So now we are allowing users to create, means you can pick up the virtual machines from different hosts in a single job, and you can configure the backups for it. So the application item level recovery. So the application item level recovery is already available in the older versions of Vembu. But in the older versions, so you need to make use of the Vembu recovery tool. So we have this universal recovery tool. So you have to install this universal recovery tool on your backup server machine, and you have to make use of this tool to perform the granular recovery. But from 5.0, so you can directly perform the application item level recovery from the user interface of the Vembu BDR server. You don't need any separate tools for it. So just go to the recovery options. So you can see the application item level recovery as one of the recovery options in the recovery wizard. Then we are going to support the backup for SharePoint Online and Teams. So you can back up your, along with backing up your mailbox, contacts, and calendars. So you can back up the entire site, web collections, individual files, folder, entire document libraries of the SharePoint Online, and you can back up your conversation, chat, planners, tasks, etc. of the Microsoft Office-based Teams. And yeah, so this Office means along with this enhancing this Office 365, so we are also bringing in the backup for Google Workspace. So previously it was in beta, so with the 5.0 release it is going live. So this includes backup for your mails, contacts, calendars, and even the files and folders from Google Drive. So everything you can do it from the Vembu BDR console itself. So you don't need have multiple consoles. From a single dashboard, you can do everything. Okay, and so yeah, so we are also enhance the backup for Office 365. So you can configure the backup for AWS. So you can configure the backup for AWS directly from the Vembu backup server interface itself. Okay, so these are the new features. These are the new features that are coming in version 5.0. Along with this, so there are some new features yet to come. So yeah, it is coming in 5.0. So along with this new feature, so we are also enhancing some of the existing features. Okay, like we now see what are the features that are getting enhancements in this 5.0 release. So the first one is you can initiate the backup when you can initiate restore when the backup is in progress. So in the previous version, if there is any backup in progress, you cannot perform the restore. So you have to wait until the backup gets completed. And once the backup gets completed, you can initiate the restore. So now you can perform the restore even when the backup is in progress. So you can restore the restore points. You don't need to wait until the backup gets completed. And next is backup jobs and offsite can run parallelly. So in the previous version, so you have to wait until the backup job gets completed to initiate the offsite copies. Now the backup job, the on-premise backup job, and the offsite copy can run in parallel, whether it is an offsite copy to an offsite Vembu offsite DR or to Vembu Cloud. So it can run in parallel. And the next is, so we have enhanced the UI and user experience of the backup job configuration. Now you can configure. So there is a lot more granularity in this backup configuration. You can customize each and every step when configuring a backup job for your VMware or Hyper-V or disk image physical machines, image level backup for the physical machines. So yeah, and you can also restore the Hyper-V VMs with the original configurations. So previously you have to go and specify the configuration when performing the restore. Now it will automatically take up the original configuration, and you can initiate, or else if you want, you can just go and change the configuration if required. And yeah, backup window and backup throttling is available at the backup job level. So you can specify the backup window settings. For example, if you don't want a backup job to be run on production hours, so you can now customize at the backup job level. So previously this backup window setting is at the server level, so no backup in the server will run during the window setting. Now you can customize this window setting for each and every backup job. Okay, and backup throttling, yeah. So you can, like I said, so you can also control the throttling of the backup at the job level. Okay, file level recovery. So previously, so you'll be able to restore only the granular files of a basic disk. Now, whatever the disk is, basic or dynamic, so you'll be able to perform the file level recovery. And yeah, so we are also bringing in an option in the user interface to disable the compression and encryption of the backup data. So yeah, during this storage repository configuration itself, so we are bringing in a setting so where you can disable the compression and encryption from there itself. So yeah, so these are the features and the enhancements that are coming in the version 5.0. Along with what I mentioned in the slides, there are a lot of features are coming. So once the version 5.0 is released, so you can witness, everything in your environment itself. So before that, if you want to test this, or if you want to see it in your environment, so you can just release the beta. So you can just download the beta from our website and you can test it in your environment itself. Okay. So yeah, so I'm having a setup with me. So I'm going to share the screen of the computer where I've already installed the 5.0, and we'll see. So how the new feature works, the 5.0. So I'm connecting to one of the machine, so where I've already installed so I'm connecting to the machine. So just hold on for a minute. So yeah, so this is one of the server. So yeah, so after installation of the 5.0, so you'll get a login screen like this. So just log in. So the admin or the default username and password. So this is the brand new interface of the version 5.0. Okay. So here you can see, so we're bringing in all the options here. So you can configure the backup for your Hyper-V, VMware and Windows servers, AWS backup, Microsoft Office 365, Google Workspace, and the backup for file servers, endpoints and application. Everything you can configure from the backup server itself, from the single dashboard itself. Yes, here you can see the menus have been changed. Yeah, so let's get started by the features. So if you want to go into, if you're going to set up the 5.0 after this installation, so you'll be first configuring the storage repository. We'll start from the storage repository. So just click on BDR infrastructure, click on backup repository, click on block storage. So here you can see, right? So you can create a new repository. When creating a new repository, so you can see the settings are altered. So you can just create a simple repository, or you can use a scale out repository where you can create select multiple disks, or you can select a disk rotation features. So you can use multiple external drives and you can swap these drives whenever required. And this is an option. So in the user interface itself, we are bringing in option to disable the compression and encryption for this repository. Just by a single click, you can disable the compression encryption. So this will be much useful if you have your own deduplication appliances, and if you want to leverage on the hardware level deduplication, you can disable this compression encryption, and you can leverage on that hardware level deduplication. Okay, so yeah, so once the storage repository is configured, so you are good to go with configuring the backups. So let's see, we'll configure a backup job and see that how the new features are and how working in this 5.0. So yeah, here you can see, so you have the settings here. So these are normal, so just BDR infrastructure. So you have all the settings to change the settings of the BDR infrastructures here. Then to configure a backup, first you need to add your servers or host to this infrastructure, to the Vembu BDR suite application. So for this, just click on data source, just click on add VMware vSphere, first click on ESXi vCenter. So you have to first add your vCenter or ESXi. So yeah, now if you see, you can see the total number of VMs and the total number of VMs that are already backed up and replicated. So all these details you can now see in the screen itself. So similarly, you can see all the details for the Hyper-V environment and also for the physical machines that are added to this backup server console. So if you go to the backup, so if you can go to the configure backup settings, so you have all the options here. So this is the concurrent backup job. So this is the parallel disk processing. So if you click on this concurrent backup, so you have this option. So the maximum number of backups that can be processed by a backup server. You can also select number of backups jobs that can be parallel, and the number of tasks, number of entities, number of disk of VMs in a single backup job that can be parallel. So you have the settings to customize both. So previously it was not there, only the backup jobs can run in parallel in the previous version. Now you can customize the setting from this user interface itself. Okay. So with this, we can see the new backup configuration. So the backup now can be configured, like, so you can configure all the settings, or you can make use of the templates. To create a backup job template, it's very simple. Just click on backup, click on backup, manage backup job templates, and click on list backup job templates. So it will list out all the templates that are already created in this backup server, or else you can create new backup job template by clicking on this create new backup job template button. So you have to give a name for the template, and I'm just giving VMware, and you have to select the backup type. So it can be a VMware Hyper-V disk image. So right now for these 3 image backups, we have the templates ready, and you have to select the storage, which storage you want to use, and then you have to select the storage repository. So you can create a fully new template, or you can inherit from the already created template. So I'm going to create a new template, and you can also, if it is S, if you're going to inherit from the previous template, you can just select S, and you have to select the existing template. So in this case, I'm going to create a new. So just give a name for this template. So maybe a template I'm giving. Just click on next step. So next step is the disk exclusion. If you want to exclude any disk from the backup, so you can specify the disk exclusions here. So you can include only the system disk, or you can specify the disk type and exclude the particular disk. So next is the guest processing. So you can set up the guest processing for the VMs or the physical machines that you're going to backup in this backup job templates itself. And then, so you have to provide whether if you want to run the quizzing, so you can enable or disable the VMware quizzing here. Then it's the scheduling. So we have revamped the entire scheduling options here. So you'll get a lot of option in the scheduling. So you can now run the backups manually. So whenever on demand, you can go and run the backups. So you can run the backups every few hours, daily, weekly, or monthly. Okay. So if it is every few hours, you can specify the interval, how frequently you want to run the backup. So if it is a weekly, so you can select on which day you want to run the backups. Or if it is a monthly, so you can specify the month. You can also specify the schedule to run the backups. So if it is a manually, it's a one-time, it's a backup that you have to go and run manually on the demand. So there is a manual option. Then you have to select the synthetic backup. If you want to create a synthetic backup, so you can just enable it, and you can specify the schedule and the frequency for this synthetic backup. You can set up the additional full backups. So if you want to take a multiple full backups periodically, so you can set up the additional full backups. So here are some advanced settings where you can use the backup. It's a backup window setting that you can use the global backup settings, backup window setting that has been configured for this backup server, or else you can create a custom setting. So if you don't want to run a backup, this particular backup job, or the backups that are created using template for some period of time, so you can use this custom settings option, or else independent of the backup windows, if you want this backup job to be run all the time as per the schedule, then you can select no preference. Okay, so then click on next. Yeah, so I have to change some settings here. So I'm selected already. Yeah, so now is the retention policy again. So we are also so improve the experience of the user interface. Along with, we also enhance this retention policies. So here is a basic retention. So if you want to set up a retention, just enable this, and we have a version-based retention. So this version-based retention retains the number of backup versions that you want to retain. So you can specify it here. You can specify up to 999. So this, if you want to retain last 15 version, just select 15, or else you can go for the time-based retention. So you can specify the number of days, and even you can also specify the number of version in the particular day that you want to retain. So there's a basic retention, and we also have this advanced retention. So this advanced retention, we have two options. GFS means this is the GFS retention, grandfather and father son kind of retention. So we have two options with this GFS. Either you can do this GFS with the full backup, or you can set up this GFS with the incremental backup. Okay, so if it is GFS with the full backup, again you have multiple options here. Retain 3 weekly copies, runs weekly on Sunday. Yeah, so this is a totally customizable. So you can customize this GFS based on your organization requirement. Okay, then click on next. Here's the encryption. So the encryption is same. So all your backup data is encrypted using AES 256-bit encryption algorithm. So if you want to encrypt, just click on enable. Okay, you can just leave it to system generated, or you can use your own custom encryption key. Just click on the encryption key. You can give a password. So all your backup data is encrypted using this password. Then click on next. Okay, so I'm just selecting as system generated. Then click on next. So here is a proxy. So if you want to add a proxy server to process this backups, so then you can add a proxy. You can add a new proxy server. So, and you can select that proxy for the backup. So this proxy server will be used to configure the backup during the backup schedule. So we also have an option here. If the backup proxy is not reachable at the time of backup, so the backup server will take that backup. So that's all. I'm just selecting. So just review the configuration and click on save. So this will create a new template, backup job template. So you can use this template to create a backup job. Okay. So this is backup template. So again, creating a backup job is pretty simple. So if you're going to manually configure the backup job, so these are the steps that you have to do. Or else, if you want to avoid all these manual configuration each and every time, you just create a template and you can use the template. You just click on configure backup, VMware. Yeah. So you can just create a backup job without using a template, or you can use an existing template and select the template from the list. Okay, so if you're using an existing template, so you are just going to select only the entities that you want to backup, and it will take up all the settings from the template. Or else you can create a backup job without using a template. If you're creating a backup job without using a template, so you have to select all the settings again. Okay, so this is with the backup configuration enhancements. And yeah, so now replication. So previously you can replicate only the VMware virtual machines. Now you can see an option to replicate the Hyper-V VMs also. So just click on Hyper-V replication. This is a replication. So yeah, again, the replication is simple. So you have to first add your standalone Hyper-V host or cluster Hyper-V host to the infrastructure of Vembu, and you can click on configure replication. You can select the VMs, you can select the target, and you can simply replicate the VMs. If something goes wrong with the source Hyper-V, you can just fail over the replica VM and you can start your work. So now that you have to select the VMs that you want to replicate, so you have an option to exclude the VMs or disk. And yeah, it's similarly like how you configure the backup for a VMware replication. So you have an option to set up the guest processing. So if you are running any application such as Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, or Active Directory, so you can enable this guest processing and take a consistent snapshot for this replication. Then click on next. So here you have to select the frequency for the replication. So the replication frequency is starting from every 15 minutes. So you can run the replications in different interval of time. You can run the daily or you can run weekly. So I'm just selecting to run every 1 hour now. Then click on next. And here you have to select the target. So once after selecting the target, so you have to select the storage. Okay, so you have to check connectivity and select the storage. So the data will get replicated to the target and the storage that you have selected. Okay, so you also need to specify the number of recovery points that you want to retain on the target side. Okay, so this will take some time. So it will just validate with the target. If the target Hyper-V host is compatible, now you can just select the storage on the target Hyper-V and you can apply it, and you can go ahead with the backup configuration. So you can see, right? So it will just list out the storage drives. I'm just selecting the EE and just click on apply. So it is applied to all the hosts. You can customize it. So if you want to replicate to a different server, you can customize it. Then click on next. So just review the configuration, give the name for this replication job, and click on save the replication. If something goes wrong, so you can just click on VM replication, click on failover and failback. So you can initiate the failover for the VMs that are being replicated. So just click on restore replica, so you can perform the failover. Okay. So this is with the VM replication. So now we'll see the recovery options, the new recovery options that are coming. So just click on restore backup data. Okay, so here is the new recovery screen. So let us take this VMware backup as an example. So just click on restore. So here you can see the new user interface of this recovery wizard. First, it will load and list out the VMs that you have backed up. So you have to select the VM, and then you have to select the recovery option to proceed further with the further recovery steps. So I'm just selecting the VMs here. So once after selecting the VM, it will list out. So all this recovery types are now available. So you have this instant boot option. So this instant boot option will allow you to boot the backup data directly from the storage repository. So you can perform this instant boot on a VMware or Hyper-V or KVM hypervisors. And yeah, so this instant boot now supports live migration. Okay, so once the VMs are instantly booted, okay, here you have this option, right? Manage instantly booted VMs. So you can now go to the manage instantly booted VMs option, and you can migrate the instantly booted VM to the production. Okay, so it will happen in background, and it will also migrate all the changes that you have made on this instant boot session. Okay, so again, so we have enhanced the entire user interface of this. You select the instant boot VM. So you have to select the restore point. So you have to select the restore point. Then yeah, so you have to select the restore option. So you have to specify on which hypervisor you want to perform this instant boot. So you can either choose VMware Hyper-V. Okay, I'm just selecting Hyper-V, and you have to select the target ESXi. And you have to select the target data store. So I'm having multiple data store here. I'm selecting one of the data store and the persistent data. So if you after this instant boot, you're going to make changes, right? So where you want to store these changes, whether you want to store it on the hypervisor itself or you want to store it in the BDR local storage, you have to specify it here. Then you have to give a target name for this instant boot VM. And yeah, so once the instant boot is performed, so whether if you want to boot this VM automatically, so you can just click on the checkbox, okay, and it will boot the VM automatically. Okay, so this is how you can perform this instant boot. It's just one more step, just review the configuration and perform the restore. And the next one is a full VM recovery. So it will allow you to restore the backup data to a same or different ESXi. It's a permanent recovery. It will copy the entire data from the backup storage repository and paste it on your data store, and then create a new virtual machine for you. So next one is a disk mount. So this will temporarily mount the backup data to the local storage. Once the disk is mounted, so you can just browse to the disk and you can copy the files and folders from there. So that's a disk mount. A disk level recovery. So this will attach the backup VM decay to another virtual machine of your choice in the same or a different ESXi. this download VM and disk. So this will allow you to download the backup data into multiple file formats. Like you can download the backup data into VHD, VMDK, VHDX, flat VMDK, and RAW. So here you can see, right? So previously these recovery options are not available in the user interface. So now you can perform the application item level recovery directly from this UI itself. If the selected VM is running with any applications like Exchange or SQL or AD or SharePoint, you can just select the appropriate recovery option and just click on next to initiate the restore, where you'll be able to restore only the particular application items from the backup instead of restoring the entire VM. And the next one is a file level recovery. So this is like you have to select the individual files and folders, and you'll be able to restore the backup data to any location of your choice. Okay, so yeah, now we'll go and perform this instant boot VM. Yeah, I'm going to perform this to one of my ESX site itself. I'm going to use this 132 host. I'm going to select this data structure one. I'm going to select webinar. Okay, I'm just going to go VM automatically. Next. So you have to review the configuration and click on restore. So this will take a couple of minutes. So once it is done, so you can see a new VM created in the target hypervisor. So we'll see this hypervisor. We'll open this hypervisor. So here you can see, right? So it is creating a new mission, and once this mission is once this instant boot is successfully completed, so you can see this mission get powered on automatically. So you can see the restore is in progress. You can just click on this restore icon, and you can see the progress detail here. Okay, so instant boot is in progress. So this will take some time. So we'll just go and check the other features, and we'll come back here. So the next one, so we have enhanced the entire reporting of the 5.0, and we'll check this AWS backup. So in the previous 4.2 build, if you click on AWS, it will ask you to redirect you to the cloud server, but now you can configure the AWS backup directly from this user interface itself. So if you want to add your AWS in account, so just click on data stores. Just click on add AWS account. So you have to click on add AWS account. So you have to provide the name. So you have to authentication type. You have to provide the access key, and you have to provide the secret key, and you can add your AWS account to this backup server. So here we have a detailed steps. So you can follow this step to add your AWS account to the Vembu application. So once it is added, it will be listed here. You can just click on backup, click on configure backup, and you can select the VM and you can configure the backup for the AWS EC2 instances. So I'm just selecting the account here, just selecting the Vembu. I'm just selecting the one of the region. I'm just selecting US, Virginia. Just click on list instance. So it will list all the instances that are available in this region. Okay, so once the instances are listed, so you can just select the instance and you can configure the backup for this instance. So it will take some time. Yeah. So again, yeah, it's pretty simple. You have to select the instance, and some more 1 or 2 steps you can configure. So yeah, so you can perform the agentless application aware backup for these instance. Okay. Yeah, so in this region, I'm not having any instance available, so I'm just selecting. So yeah, simply I already configured a backup, so I can just select, edit this backup and show how this works. So right, we have a servers in Asia Pacific, Sydney. So once this account is loaded, so it will just list out all the instances. Yeah, it is taking more than the expected time. So we'll So as I'm selecting everything, it is taking some time. So you can also filter it. So here you can see, right, it will list out all the instances. So just select the instances that you want to backup. Okay. So in case if you want to perform the application AVA processing, so you can just select this checkbox. Or if you want to run any pre or post scripts, so you can just select this checkbox and you can run the custom scripts by using this option, pre or post scripts option. Yes, after selecting the instance, just click on configure backup. So you have to give a name for this backup job. So you can just give any name and you have to specify the schedule. So this backup jobs can run in hourly or daily or weekly manner. And you have to select the time zone and you have to specify the number of snapshots that need to be retained. And you have to specify some settings. So what if the backup schedule get failed and how many retry attempt you want to do and how frequently you want to perform this retry attempt. So you have to select some basic settings here and click on save the backup. And if you want to run this backup job immediately, click on this button, save the backup and run now. So yeah, so this is, if something goes wrong, so you can just click on recovery and you can initiate the restore. So you can either restore the entire EC2 instance or you can perform the volume level recovery. So just click on restore. So you can perform the instance level recovery or you can perform the volume level recovery. So the file level recovery is coming in the upcoming versions of Vembu. Okay. So this is how the AWS EC2 instance backup and recovery works. So yeah, you have a lot of settings that you can explore on your own by downloading and testing this beta. And we have this Microsoft 365 and G Suite backups. Again, it is integrated in this user interface itself. So just click on Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace in the main menu. Okay. Again, first you have to add your data source. So you have to add your Office 365 account or G Suite account. So just click on add Office 365 organization. So if you click on this add Office 365 button, it will ask you for the organization name, tenant ID, application ID, and application password. So you can get these details by logging into your Azure portal. And yeah, so you have to generate this application password. So here is the step to generate the application password to add this Microsoft Office 365 to this Vembu backup server. So once it is added, just click on configure, click on backup, configure backup, click on Office 365 or Google Workspace. I'm just selecting Office 365. So we have to give a job name. So I'm just giving 365 webinar. So just select the storage repository, just give a name for the backup job. This is optional. Then click on next. So you have to select the domain. I'm just selecting the vembu.com domain. So you can backup the entire organization or you can backup the selected entities. So I'm just going to select, okay, let's select everything and click on next. So you have to select. So either you want to, so you have multiple domains in my Azure portal. I'm just selecting all the domains. So you can select the backup for all the users or you can select the specific users. So just click on specific users. It will list out all the users. So you have to select the users that you want to backup. So we have all the details, right? So just select the mailboxes that you want to backup and then click on next. So yeah, so it is a group mailbox. So if you want to back up the group drive, so you can just next. If you want to back up your SharePoint, so just click on next and you have to select the SharePoint sites and SharePoint collections. Okay, so we have multiple SharePoint. I'm just selecting all the SharePoint, then click on Teams. So if you want to back up your teams, just select all the teams. then click on next scheduling. So you have to specify the schedule for this backup. So you have to specify how frequently you want to run this incremental backups, and you have some advanced settings like how frequently you want to attempt for the failure, and how many attempts you want to do if a backup schedule gets failed. So you have to set these settings there, and then click on next. So that's all. So if you want to compress the backup data in the storage repository, click on compression, then click on retention for how long period you want to retain the backup data. So you have to specify the retention settings here, then click on next, and let's click on save the backup. Okay, so there's a review the configuration, and click on save the backup. So if something goes wrong, if any of the mailbox get crashed or corrupted, just click on recovery. So it will show the backup job. So you can just click on restore, and you can initiate the restore. So at the time of restore, so you can restore the entire mailbox, or you can just restore the particular items from it. Yeah, so I'm just selecting the restore entire mailbox. Okay, so it will list out the domain, then click on restore version, select the recovery point, then choose the mailbox. I have configured backup for 2 users, so just selecting one user. So you can restore the mailbox, or you can restore the individual mails or OneDrive item, calendar item, or restore contacts. I'm just selecting the restore mailbox. There is no mail in that mailbox. So if it is there, it will list out all the things. Yeah, I'm just selecting the restore mails. So just select all the mails. If it is inbox, just select inbox, sent items, everything. Then click on restore option. Yeah, you can restore to the same user, or you can restore to a different user, or you can download as a PST. Just select download as a PST. So you have to specify the location. You have to just give a small description for this restore. And when you click on review and restore, it will restore the backup data to the selected folder. Okay. And yeah, so you have an option to configure the backup for your file servers, endpoints, and application. To configure the backup for your file servers, just click on the file server, endpoint, and applications tab, and click on S. Okay. First, you need to add your data store. So you need to install a client on the machines from where you want to back up the files or application. For this, just click on download BDR client. So it will allow you to download the client agents. So the client agents are available for Windows, Linux, and Mac environments. So just download this and install this on the target machine. And once this agent is installed, there is a separate user interface for that. So you can configure the backup from that client UI. And once the backup is initiated, you can see all the backups here. Okay, so just click on list backup jobs, so you can see the backups that are configured from the client agent. And if something goes wrong, if your file server is crashed or the application is crashed, you can just click on recovery, and you can initiate the restore from here. So this is how you can configure the backup for your VMware, Hyper-V VMs and physical machines, AWS EC2 instances, Microsoft Office 365 mailboxes, SharePoint Online, Teams Online, Google Workspace. Everything you can configure from this single dashboard itself. So this is for the primary copy. If you want, so you can also send a copy of your backup data to an offsite DR. For this, just click on BDR infrastructure, click on offsite DR. So you can send a copy of backup data to the Vembu offsite DR server, or you can send it to Vembu Cloud DR server. So for this, you need to register your backup server to the Vembu portal account. And once it is registered, so it will show the further next settings to configure the replication. So yeah, so we have initiated the restore, right? So you can see the machine is booted. So when you can click on, you can see the machine is already booted. So if you want to live migrate this to the production, so now this instant boot VM, right? So we have performed sometimes before. So this is directly booted from the backup storage repository. So you can just connect to this machine and you can do all the operations. So once your work is done, or if you want to directly move it to the production, so just click on recovery, click on manage instantly booted VM. So this is the VM that I have booted. Just click on action, just click on migrate. Okay, so you have to select the target server where you want to migrate. So I'm migrating a different target. So you have to initiate the means you have to select the data store, and then you have to check the compatibility and migrate. I'm just selecting a data store here. So just compatibility and migrate. So it will check for the compatibility. Once the selected host is compatible, so it will initiate the migration. Here you can see, right, So the ESXi versions are different between from where the instant boot is performed and the target. So it is throwing some error. So if I select to restore to same, it will start the migration. So you can still continue your work, and all the changes that you have made on this instant boot event will also be migrated. So yeah, it's accepted it, and just click on OK. It will start the migration. So the migration will take some time. That depends on the size of the data. And once this is done, you can use this as a production VM. Okay. So yeah, so I think I hope I gave a small introduction about the features and the functionalities that are coming in the 5.0. Yeah, so apart from the features that have shown to you here, there are a lot of things are coming. A lot of new features and enhancements are coming in the 5.0 release. So if you are interested in testing out the Vembu, we have a beta here, so you can just download the beta and you can start testing it in your environment. Okay. So that's all from my side. Yeah. So once again, everyone, so thanks for your interest. Thanks for showing interest in this webinar. So if you want to know more about any specific features and functionalities, so you can directly contact us. So you just go to Vembu website. So you can contact our support team, or you can request for a demo. So we'll have a one-to-one demo. So we will customize this demo based on your requirement. So we'll have a discuss. We'll discuss in a separate meeting session. Okay, and we'll give the best practices to set up the Vembu in your environment. Yeah, so we are getting a lot of questions from the users as we are nearing the time for this webinar. So we will send. Yeah, so I think Pranav was answering to all the questions that are being. Some of the questions are not answered, but don't worry. So we will check and we will reply as soon as possible to you by tomorrow itself. So everyone, so that's the end of, we came to the end of this webinar. Okay, if you have any questions, so you can just please feel free to contact us to the email IDs and number that is being displayed on the screen. Yeah,